welcome back to a brand new book video. Today I'm so extremely excited because I'm here for you with my very first monthly reading wrap up. And if you have been following me, then you will know that I've recently been posting quite a lot of book content, not only here on my YouTube channel, but also on my TikTok. I've been doing these videos where it's like recommending you a book based on its aesthetic, and I really love making those. I've also been posting book-related content on my Instagram, especially on my stories. I usually post meaningful quotes, and for every single book that I read, I usually post a story with my opinions and my rating. So definitely follow me on TikTok and Instagram if you haven't already, and of course subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so. Put on your post notifications, especially if you're a book lover like me, because there will be a ton of book content coming your way if you guys like that. I hope that you like it, but I'm definitely planning on making monthly reading wrap-ups every single month so that you guys stay up to date with all the books that I love. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it with the first book that I read in 2022. That sounds so weird to say 2022. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm definitely not used to it yet. For me, it still feels like we're stuck in 2020 and I don't know how to feel about it. But anyways, I started this book in Holidaze by Christina on Christmas Day, and I finished it on New Year's Day, and this was definitely a very good festive start of the new year. So this book is about May, and every single year her and her family's friends go to this cabin in the woods where they celebrate Christmas, and it's a super fun time because every single year they do all these kind of festive activities like snow fights, they build snowmen, they bake cookies, they go on scavenger hunts, they go Christmas tree shopping. It's just such a delightful time. So every single year she's looking forward to it so much, especially because she is best friends with two brothers and they are the sons of her parents' friends. So they grew up together, they shared all these secrets together, they played together ever since they were babies. And of course, May secretly has an eye on one of these boys. But then during one amazing Christmas, something terrible happens because she kisses the other brother. So not the one that she has been secretly in love with for years. No, she happens to kiss the other brother and she immediately regrets it so much. And then she asks the universe to show her what truly makes her happy. She asks for a sign, and that is exactly what she gets, because from that day onward she is going to experience the same Christmas over and over and over again. So it's like Groundhog Day vibes. She doesn't know how to escape this loophole. It's super fun. I give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. So a little bit of a background on my rating system. I am not too harsh of a critic with books because I always find something enjoyable in the books that I read, especially because I usually pick them out because I know that I'm going to like the subject or that I love the writer. In this case, I really love the books that Christina write. They are so amazing. It's an author duo, in case you didn't know yet. So if I just enjoyed a book but it's nothing special, I give it 3 stars. If I really enjoyed a book but there are some complaints, like slight complaints, I give it a 4 stars. For example, People We Meet on Vacation or The Hating Game, I gave those books 4 stars because they were super enjoyable but just a little bit too overhyped on BookTok in my opinion. So my expectations for the books were just a little bit too high. And then 4.5 is if the book is nearly perfect. And then 5 out of 5 stars is only reserved for books that truly hold a special place in my heart and that I cannot seem to forget about, that I constantly keep thinking about. And for this book, I have decided to give it a 4 stars out of 5 because I really love this. It was so enjoyable, such a fun time reading this, but I didn't feel as connected to these characters as I wanted, especially because a lot of characters are introduced in the beginning of this book, like this entire friend group, the entire family, and I was just a little bit lost on who is who, and that kind of caught me off guard, and it was a little bit hard to get into it at first, but then afterwards I started to really enjoy it. It wasn't a book that I couldn't put down because it didn't really have like this crazy plot or crazy plot twist, but it's just a very fun, cutesy romance that will definitely give you Christmas vibes. So if you're in a mood to read something Christmassy, if you're still in that holiday spirit, even though February is just around the corner, pick this up because yeah, it's super cute. And then guys, I read Addicted to You. This is the first book in the Addicted/Calloway Sister series, and I don't know about you, but if you've been spending time on BookTok or BookTube, then you've definitely heard of this. This is so super hyped, especially by Steph Borer, and she's one of my absolute favorite booktubers and booktalkers because she is just, I don't know, first of all, she's beautiful, but also all the books that she recommends I usually really love. So I think ever since 2020 she has been raving about this series, which is written by Krista and Becca Ritchie, so another author duo. It consists of 10 books, I believe, and you have the Addicted series, which is about Lily and Lo, and then you also have the Calloway Sister series, which is about the sisters of Lily, and you can read those books as standalones, but you can also read them intertwined, and that makes up the entire Addicted/Calloway Sister series. So I know it can be a little bit intimidating to start a series, especially when it consists of so many books, but trust me guys, after reading the first 2 books in the series, because I also read Ricochet right after I finished this one, I can definitely say that I highly recommend you to pick up this series. It's so worth it. So this is about Lily and Lo. Like I already said, they are so super rich. I'm talking top 1%. Lily's father owns this soda company, and it's up there with Pepsi and Cola, so then you know that, you know, they're loaded. Both Lily, the girl in this story, and Lo, the boy, have the most amazing, exquisite designer clothes. They have private chauffeurs. They seem to be the perfect couple, but little does the outside world know that they're actually fake dating, and that they're only doing so because they're actually childhood best friends who both struggle with addictions, hence name Addicted to You. So Lo is an alcoholic, and he has been struggling with that ever since he was little. His father was also an alcoholic, so it is a real struggle for him. And then Lily is a sex addict, and I've never in my life read a book about a sex addict before, so that was definitely very interesting to get into. I didn't really know what to expect, but honestly, the way that their addictions are described makes them so likable, because I don't know what it is. Krista and Becca Ritchie have this power that sucks you into a book and actually makes you feel like you're best friends with these characters. You feel for them, you want to help them, you truly get to understand their way of thinking and why they're struggling with their addiction so much. And this is a fake dating trope, which eventually, of course, leads to real dating. So yeah, it's just a really amazing, angsty love story. Please look up the trigger warnings for this one though, because yeah, it can definitely be a little bit triggering, and it's definitely for mature audiences only. Obviously, because of the topics that it deals with, it's not a light, fluffy read, and that's exactly what I love about it. So this book, together with Ricochet, the second part, is also about the relationship between Lily and Lo, and they both get 5 out of 5 stars. And then Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. Guys, I'm so super excited because this book is by Colleen Hoover, my favorite author of all time. And it actually came out this month. I think January 18th, if I'm not mistaken. I got this book a little bit before that, so I was able to read it a little bit earlier, and I completely fell in love with it. I don't know why this was such a good reading month with so many 5-star reads, but this is another 5-star read. I'm obsessed. So this book is about Kenna, and she gives birth to a daughter, a beautiful daughter by the name of DM, which she never gets to hold, never gets to kiss, never gets to cuddle with, because immediately after Kenna gives birth, DM is taken away from her because Kenna is in prison for involuntarily, no, I can't say that word, involuntarily manslaughter. That is such a mouthful, but that's of course a horrible subject. I'm not laughing at that. Yeah, this is a very heavy read. Kenna is struggling a lot, and 5 years later she gets out of prison, and of course the first thing she does is she starts looking for her daughter. So she goes back to the town where everything went down 5 years ago, and unfortunately for her, the people that are currently raising her child do not want anything to do with her because of her past. They even file a restraining order against her. It's horrible for Kenna, and it feels like she can never convince them that she's actually a good person and that she deserves to be a part of the life of her daughter, which is understandable if you know what she did, but you will find out when you pick this up, because I highly recommend you reading this for yourself. But then she meets Ledger, and that might be the only person that possibly can bring her closer to her daughter, but she falls in love with him, so that definitely makes things complicated. Guys, this is so beautiful. I cannot even explain this properly because it's such a complicated, beautiful story. I highly recommend it. It's definitely also not a fluffy romance read. I love stories like this that have a lot of substance to them. I cannot express how much I love this. It's so beautiful. Once again, Colleen Hoover did not disappoint. And then I read Punk 57 because everybody on BookTok is raving about this, so I just knew that I had to read it. This was actually sitting on my bookshelf for such a long time, but I actually don't know why I didn't pick this up sooner, because I absolutely love this. So this is a story of Misha and Ryan. When they were younger, their respective primary schools set up this pen pal program, and they were supposed to only put together people of the same gender, but since Misha and Ryan have gender neutral names, they were paired together, but Misha is a boy and Ryan is a girl, and they start telling each other about all their secrets, all the things that are happening in their lives, and Ryan falls in love with Misha so hard. But then Misha sees Ryan in person and she doesn't know that it's Misha, but Ryan is not what Misha expected her to be. She's this like really stuck up, arrogant cheerleader that is really popular, and that's not how she comes across in her letters. She writes about herself as if she's this really artistic, outcast girl, and as if she's really nice and interesting and sweet, but when Misha meets her, she's the contrary. She's a bully, and he starts bullying her back. So this is a bully romance. You definitely have to love that type of genre. It's definitely a little bit dark, and yeah, I made a video on my TikTok describing its aesthetic. This is definitely what this book felt like for me. It's so super angsty. It's a true page turner. I loved this so much. I definitely get that this is a book that's not for everybody, but it was totally up my alley. I loved it. 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then another book that did not disappoint was The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I don't know, he's half Greek. I think it's a beautiful last name, which I can't pronounce. I'm so sorry. But The Silent Patient is a mystery suspense thriller book, and I absolutely devoured this. This is a type of book that you cannot put down. It's so eerie, so disturbing, so perfect, so amazing. I loved every single second of it. So this is about Alicia. Alicia gets admitted to a mental asylum because one night she shot her husband 5 times in the head, and afterwards she didn't speak a single word. For years she is completely silent. Will not explain why she did it, how she did it, what is going on inside her head. It is crazy. And in this book, you're trying to figure out why Alicia is silent, what actually happened. The truth gets bended, it gets twisted. You do not know who to trust in this story, and the plot twist is insane. I loved this so much. 5 out of 5 stars. I know I have told you there are a lot of 5 out of 5 star reads in this video because I just loved every single book that I read this month. I cannot help it, okay? Last but not least, is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, also by Christina Lauren. And I'm so super excited about this book because this is so cute. So it's about Hazel, who is this super quirky girl. She's an elementary school teacher, and Josh, he's a physical therapist. He's Korean. He's this super handsome guy, a little bit more of a reserved, quiet type, and they are definitely opposites. Hazel is like super crazy and outgoing, and Josh definitely is not, but they become best friends because they already knew each other in college, and then they are reunited because Hazel's best friend is his sister. And then when Josh gets dumped by his horrible cheating girlfriend, she's the worst. Like, why would you cheat on such an amazing guy like Josh? Hazel and Josh decide to set each other up with these horrible blind dates, and they're constantly wondering, how can it be that we set each other up with these dates, but we always end up single just with each other? Oh, what could be the cause of that? Maybe we like each other, maybe we don't, maybe we're just pretending to hate each other, maybe we actually are into each other and actually really in love. That's the kind of book that this is. It's best friends to lovers, and it's so cute. This gets a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's just a super cute romance, and actually this was a book that I did not expect to love as much as I did, because I was more in the, you know, not so fluffy books with a little bit more of a heavy subject. But then when I started reading this, I just simply couldn't put it down. I sped through this so super fast. So yeah, that for me is definitely a sign that I really love this. 4.5 out of 5 stars. And those were all the books that I read this month. Please let me know if you've read any of these. Please also let me know if you want to see more book videos. And then I want to wish you all a very amazing, wonderful day. Love you loads. Bye bye.